Now another quick video, and after I produced the video on the phone boosting stickers, somebody sent me a link to these, so I picked a couple up off of eBay. These are antennas, or aerials, whatever you want to call them. The difference between an aerial and an antenna: an aerial will just receive a signal, like your TV aerial for instance, but an antenna receives and transmits, and that's the difference between the two. But we've got these, and they've got audio jacks on here, and these are claimed to be able to plug into an audio jack on a mobile phone and increase the signal strength by having such a large antenna on your phone rather than the little one that's on the inside of the phone. But of course they don't work. Now I have checked continuity with this one here, and it seems that this little aerial here is connected to the ground on this audio jack plug here. So this is soldered or connected in some way to that part of the plug, but these two aren't connected to anything. This I can't test at the moment because it's covered in heat shrink tubing. Much bigger, this one cost a couple of pounds more than this little one. It looks like it's homemade with the heat shrink tubing. Also looks like it's some kind of helical with the wires going around the top, if indeed they are wires. But I've also checked continuity on this one. This one's also a 4-pin audio jack. It has the extra pin that you would normally have for a microphone. So you've got the audio here and ground and a microphone, where this one is just a typical headphone jack. So I've got two phones here. I've got my old phone and the audio jacks on the top of this one, and it fits in the top there, and it's supposed to increase the signal strength. This one also fits in the top here into the audio jack, and you can pull this one out like a 1980s radio, if you would, walking around with this sticking out of your phone. Yeah, but this is my mobile phone, and if I plug this into my one, you'll see that it does indeed register. Hopefully you can see that, and it thinks I've connected headphones. So I was worried a little bit whether these would break a mobile phone. If, let's say, all of these pins were connected together, then you're going to get a short, and connecting it to your phone could potentially damage it. But they're not connected together, and this one, if I plug this one in, also comes up as it thinks it's some kind of audio device that's being plugged in. Now of course these do not work. Don't come anywhere close to working, and I think that the idea behind these is from in the 1980s things started getting smaller, so we got little portable Walkmans and little portable radios and that sort of thing. And with the little portable radios, the problem was where to put the aerial for typically the FM. And the aerial was part of the headphone wire, because it's just an aerial, just needs to receive an FM signal. So you could, use the audio wire in the headphones as an aerial as well. There's not a problem with that at all. Of course you can't use that for transmitting. It's just an aerial. And I think this is where this idea comes from, and where people think, these will actually work. Again, if anybody leaves positive feedback, which a lot of people seem to have, I think it's just a placebo effect. But yeah, they don't work at all. And I think that's where the idea comes from, the little Walkmans from the 1980s. In fact, let me take this one apart because I want to see what's on the inside of this one. And now we've got the heat shrink tubing off, you can see that it's just a coil of wire. I don't even think they've coiled this wire themselves. I think it's actually a spring that they've just caught and used in this, and they've got some copper wrapped around here, and they've bothered to use a bit of solder on this. I don't know why they've done that, and it's just a waste of solder. But the funny thing is as well, if we look at the listing on eBay, this is the one that I purchased, and if we scroll down, we can see that we've got some specs there, and reading the specs, we've got the frequency range, VSWR 1.5, that's funny, we've got the gain of 6 dB, polarization, it's an omnidirectional antenna, and it's rated for 50 watts, it's 50 ohms, and yeah, due to the differences in monitors, the colour of the picture may differ and not reflect the actual colour, but it doesn't actually reflect the actual specs either, does it? So here it is then, and I don't know how much more evidence you need. It's just an audio jack that they've cut off, probably a cheap pair of 99p headphones, that sort of thing. They've soldered this part onto here, and that's what you're buying. Somebody's chopped it off. You can clearly see that somebody's chopped this off, and it was designed to fit on something else. Yeah. And with this one, we've just got a little wire on the audio jack there on the ground, and that's soldered onto the bottom of this telescopic aerial. Yeah, don't buy them. So the moral of this story is, don't buy them, they don't work. And looking at some of the sellers again have sold hundreds and hundreds of these. They're just taking parts and chopping them up, putting them together, and they don't work.